the city of the sun. You could have stayed, it's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shape my smile.
All right, today is August 20th, 2024. It is exactly 3 p.m. There are some tweets that I came across while I was editing some videos that I recorded this morning, which I just finished. These I record them this morning and I just finished edit them, and I should be editing this one, that's the second video, but I came across some tweets, more recent tweets, and I want to look at them. So I have about 9 tweets to share with you. The ones that I recorded this morning, I think this one I'm gonna put it on this channel, PYTE Sussex, but the first one, it was one recording, but it was too long. As I'm editing, I decided to split it into 2 parts. This is part 2 and part 1. But anyway, let's this is the background. $76.49, 4,426 subscribers, new subscribers, welcome. Alright, so as we get close to the election, and some of the recordings that I have, they talk about politics, they're getting less views, and I understand some of you are not into politics, but I think there's more to it in terms of the traction with the channel. Okay, so that's that. Let's go on Twitter. These are some pictures that I came across. I just upload them or share them with you on PYTE. All right, so let's get started. This is the first tweet. Hopefully I don't stay too long. Okay, so there's that. Did I share that already? Okay, there's the laugh here. This is what I keep saying about Harry and Meghan's respect for the host country's media. Unlike the last royal tour in Kenya, where the host press was shut out and had to get crumbs from the UK press. No media house in Colombia is complaining. It is uninvited. Okay, so when they went to Kenya, is that the one where Chuck and the other one looked miserable in the car? Was that one? Okay, I'm not sure. When I'm editing, I'll look when the last time Chuck went to Kenya. You know what? Let's look at it now. It was last year. I must have shared it with you, but I got confused with the date. So that was 3 November 2023. So apparently they went, they bring the media with them. So all of the local medias in Kenya did not have access. They had to wait until, so in other words, they did the opposite of what Harry and Meghan did. Okay, so I see. All right, back to this. Alright, the Fell and friends were kicked out of WhatsApp group where information of Harry and Meghan and Colombia was being shared. Now, this is my kind of petty. Long may it continue. Alright, so there's no more comment. Let's go into that. Okay, to that end, they selected a trusted magazine writer to accompany them and deliver unfeignedly flattering accounts of their activities to the rest of the media, which at best got an occasional fleeting glimpse of the runaway royals. Runaway royals, is that what they call Harry and Meghan? The tour was organized by Harry and Meghan's Archewell Foundation and Colombian Vice President's team. Francia Marquez is the first black female to hold that host and was called my friend by Meghan during one of the few speeches accompanied by sound. Information about the trip was posted daily on WhatsApp by the Vice President's office, but several journalists whose coverage caused displeasure were unceremoniously removed from the group. Others were reprimanded for daring to ask questions of a head teacher, even though they were freely answered, whose school the Sussexes visited in Cartagena. I think I shared this, maybe because I read it already. Let me read what's there and then that's it. Bottom up. Right here. Harry and Meghan do not owe the British media anything. The British media have attacked them relentlessly for years. In my opinion, the British media should not have access to anything related to Harry and Meghan, not even for a minute. And Harry told them he's not dealing with them. I don't know how many times can he said no to these people. Imagine showing up to events you weren't invited to cover a couple you don't pay for, in a country that isn't even yours, and being shocked people get to tell you no. British media, they're treating us like we are a third world country news agency. How dare they? Clown. Okay, the UK media assume that everyone is afraid of them and need them to control the narrative. And this is why Vice President Kamala Harris is taking a playbook out of Harry and Meghan. So far, as far as I'm concerned, they have not given any sit-down interview with any U.S. media because they already, craft out a narrative. There's something that I saw a few minutes ago regarding the Middle East. Let me pause for a second. There's this here. Make this go viral. Sickening. Listen to this. It's only 19 seconds.
Know that Secretary of State Blinken is over there right now working with Netanyahu. The reporting is that former President Trump is on the phone with the Prime Minister of Israel, urging him not to cut a deal right now because it's believed that would help the Harris campaign. Know that Secretary...
This is so sickening. This is so sickening. And he did that, I believe, with the Texas border deal as well. Okay? I don't know. Let's wait until after the election and see what happened. And okay, let me not get into that. Let's focus on this. I think the reason I shared this video with you guys is because the Trump administration, it doesn't have any plan. And everything that they plan to go against Biden, now Biden is not running, it just doesn't work with Kamala. All right, so I think that was the reason I wanted to share that with you. And undermining the sitting president. I don't know how this is going to play out if, let's say, Kamala wins. If there's some sort of a treason going on, I do not know. But this does not look good. To try to undermine the sitting president. And then for the other country, Israel, to actually listening to a former president who's not currently, the president. So I do not know how this gonna play out in the long run. And of course, you know, they're gonna deny it. And as well as, you know, how could you be working with, there's Biden probably wants to work with them, and Israel, you know, doesn't want to. You could just look at the history of the Middle East, the Gaza conflict, you know, prime ministers after prime ministers of Palestine, every president that the U.S. had, they tried to make a deal. You know, Israel did not want to work with Palestine. All right, so there's a lot going on. So let me not go into much in full detail with things that's going on that I'm still seeing, but I cannot talk about. But I just wanted to share with you that video. Okay, so let's get back to the original recording. Okay, the UK media assume that everyone is afraid of them and need them to control the narrative. I think the reason I brought this up, that video clip, is that they want to control narrative. They want things to go their way. So this idiot thinks getting involved, I don't know, getting involved in policies, and he's not even president. He's undermining the current president. I don't understand this. That's like the second time he did that. Let's wait and see afterward and see what happened. If they're gonna for treason, I don't understand this. All right, so let's from here up to that, because these are connected. Once upon a time, the voter went into other people's countries and shut out locals from covering the royals. They need to light a fire on the Lazy Kate and Berkshire Willis. There's the horse here, to get on the road. All right, most recent was Kenya. Okay, so that's the one that I just read. So it was last year. Then they herd them into a separate enclosure space. Disgraceful. Oh, now I remember. Yes, how could I forget that? I shared this with you guys. They put a red carpet in a freaking where was that red carpet? Was it it wasn't even a grass. What was it? The place is not like a concrete place. It was, maybe there were grass or something. They put a red carpet. I'm telling you, these people are ridiculous. They're full of themselves. I remember now. Yes. Okay, I'm confused. Isn't that what the royal voter do? You're not confused, you're right. The UK media. Okay, I read this. Let's go to the next tweet. There's one regarding James O'Brien that I wanted to listen to. These are more recent, like today. All right, the things that I recorded in the morning were more during the Colombia visit. Harry and Meghan were there. There were some discussions that were happening on Twitter. I wasn't able to cover them because they were somewhat off topic a little bit, but good conversation. So this is what those two recordings were this morning. But these, what I'm recording right now in this video, are like today. All right, more recent. For those new here and those who need to refresh their memories of how we ended here, watch and learn the reason why Harry and Meghan and Colombia and their success make them the most inspiring people. Despite all odds, they have entered joy era. So, oh my God, this is 7 minutes. Let's see here. This is James O'Brien. He tends to make things reasonable.
Deal. Here's the bottom line. Harry and Meghan have become hate figures for much of Britain, never mind the British media, for two reasons. The first is James Baldwin's timeless quote. I imagine one of the reasons people cling to their hate so stubbornly is because they sense once hate is gone, they will be forced to deal with pain. And the second reason is that they gave the finger to Fleet Street. And Fleet Street won't accept that. I sometimes wonder whether, if my old man hadn't been made redundant by the Daily Telegraph, I would have been one of the people leading the line of attack on these two. Because when you've got Fleet Street in your blood, when you've got ink in your blood, any attempt to lead your life as if we're not in charge is greeted with absolute fury. Look at what happens if you dare to stand up to the British tabloid media. They will kick you round the room until you're bruised and bloodied, and quite possibly, in the case of the Duchess of Sussex, of course, contemplating the worst possible way out of that level of abuse and unkindness.
Do you see any scenario by which Harry and Meghan overshadow Kate and
Oh,
William?
yes, I do. I mean, this is immediately was my first thought. You know, this could be a problem.
And yet they carried on. They refused to buckle. They tried to play by the rules. They sought the kind of deal that royals have been securing through the ages in their dealings with Fleet Street. They tried to get a kind of a hiatus, a reprieve, a ceasefire.
And this is why Meghan was saying she thought they would be fair, but instead they throw her under the bus. They use her for every little bad behavior the other ones were doing. Alright, so people will understand all of their BS that they were throwing at Meghan when she was over there. People's gonna learn about it one by one. Let's continue. Come on.
But they didn't. They didn't get it. The palace, for good or for ill, did not come in on behalf of Prince Harry and his wife and demand that the vampires of Fleet Street stop sucking their blood every morning. So they decided to do everything their own way. They decided to rewrite their own rule book and live entirely by that. They decided that they would not dance to anybody's tune but their own.
That's right.
They are not perfect. They are not infallible. Some of the stuff they do is a little bit silly, but my goodness me, they're brave. Imagine that. Imagine growing up in that goldfish bowl and deciding that you're going to smash the glass and see whether or not you can survive. That's what they can never be forgiven for. And nobody understands this better than the Fleet Street machine that needs the royal family just as much as the royal family needs the Fleet Street machine. That relationship.
This is the thing here that Charles and William and, well, them too pretty much, because they're the one who's going to take control over. They don't understand their position. Without them, the paper is nothing. All they had to do is be ethical. Be ethical. And who cares whatever they write about you? As long you did it the right way, you're not abusing somebody else. But they're doing stupid things. They're letting the papers know about it. And then the papers using it accountable. And they don't want the rest of the world or probably their peasants to know about it, but they continue doing the same BS, and at the same time they want positive coverage. Harry and Meghan is like, I'm not playing that. I'm not doing anything wrong, so I don't have to play by your stupid rules. Alright, so he shut them out. Harry and Meghan shut them out. Let's continue.
Is not parasitic, as I used to think. It's symbiotic. There are lines that will never be crossed, and if the unexpected or the unprecedented happens, then the reaction will be negotiated. How can we possibly live in a land where the late Queen's second son, Andrew Windsor, is treated more gently and more quietly, calmly, insert whatever adverb you prefer, than...
There's a cartoon image, someone in the UK wrote it, where there's Harry passing by, his hand in his pocket, his head is down, and then there's Andrew with his underwear eating pizza, and then saying to Harry he shamed the family or something like that. Look at the screen. This is what this reminds me as he talks about that.
Her youngest grandson, or rather the King's youngest son, the current King's youngest son. How can we possibly live in a land where Andrew Windsor is talked of in the same breath as Prince Harry? Think about that for a minute. That's been done because of a deal, whether implicit or explicit, between the royal family and the Fourth Estate, the media, the newspapers. You can keep your access, you can come on your tours, we'll answer your questions, but the other lad, he's out of favour now. And his wife, open season. You can do whatever the hell you want with her. You can write what you want, you can say what you want, you can print what you want, you can broadcast whatever you want about her. I know what you're thinking. Didn't exactly end well, where we gave you the same free pass on Harry's mum. But hey-ho, the world has turned. That memory has faded a bit, so open season on Meghan Markle. Write what you want, say what you want, do what you want. So they did, and they continue to do so, which is why even today, the front pages of every newspaper are somehow turning the fact that they are more interesting than his brother and sister-in-law into something of which they are guilty. Netflix trailer steals the spotlight from Wales's. It's absolutely pathetic. Breathtakingly pathetic, actually, that the machine, the war machine of Fleet Street is now so devoid of justification for its bile that they're claiming the release date of a Netflix film is a declaration of war.
It's crazy.
And do you know what? I hope it is. I hope it is, because if my wife had been treated like his wife has been treated, all bets would be off. If I had gone to my brother and asked him to help me protect my wife from the kind of abuse that Meghan Markle has been exposed to, and that abuse seeps from mainstream media to social media and drips into every corner of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and my brother had turned around to me and said, yeah, well,
This is the thing.
there it is. I'd be declaring war. If this was 400 years ago, I'd be raising a flag on Hounslow Heath and contemplating a coup for the crown. But those days are over. The prize today is just PR. The prize today is public image. And here, finally, is the question. It's just envy, isn't it? The whole point of the attacks upon Prince Harry and his wife, whether they're coming from within the palace, on the record, off the record, nowhere near the record, or whether it's coming from Fleet Street, is because they're simply better at everything.
That's
They're
right.
better at PR. They're more media savvy. They're more articulate. They're more empathetic. Crucially, they're more accomplished. Look at their career.
They're more articulate. That's true. And there was something that Harry said in his engagement. We know, what is it? We're good or something. We know we are, or something like that. I'll put this clip here.
Deal with everything else that comes with it. But no, you know, we're a fantastic team. We know we are, and we hope to, you know, over time, try and have as much impact for all the things that we care about as much as possible.
Yeah, Harry knew. He knows his worth. And there's Meghan, who went to Colombia speaking Spanish. All right, so.
Compare their careers. They're more accomplished and they're more attractive. So here is the real sin of Harry Windsor. And this only occurred to me last night. It's box fresh. I'm going to throw open the phone lines and you can kick it to pieces if you want on 0345 6060973. But the real reason for the hatred, the viciousness, and this astonishing level of abuse is because they make a complete mockery of royalty itself.
That's right.
The idea that he gets the top job and he sits in the sidecar for the rest of his life is absolutely absurd. But we can never ever admit that because it shakes the very foundations of the royal family. So, do you think that the real reason why Prince Harry and his wife have been turned into public enemies numbers 1 and 2 in this country is because...
Okay, so I feel like I heard this before, not like today, like a couple months ago or something. Right, tell it, there's that, 17 hours ago. No, so it must be recent, most of the comments. Right, spot on, brilliant, no truer word spoken. Hell, this needs to be shouted from the rooftop, that family. And the British media are perpetrating the biggest con in history. This is the most true and well-articulated speech I've seen anyone make regarding the abuse of Meghan, especially, and Prince Harry by the British media. At Mr. James O. continues to be so on point about this. Okay, I love to hear this man speak about Harry and Meghan. This is one of his best comments. I wish I could shake his hand and praise him personally. Okay, after these two that's said. Okay, this is their answer right here. Pointing up here, envy. And I will add embedded and racism. Racism comes first though. They are irredeemably racist in the family. Their collapse is going to be loud. Wow, said true. That has been so well articulated. Okay, I was gonna stop, but okay, there's an ad here after these. That's it. Once I get to the ad. Well done, James. Very, very true. Absolutely love Harry and Meghan. I have no time for the other lot. It's good to remind people. That's right. Thanks, Mr. James O'Brien, for saying the truth. Well done. Thanks, James. Shooting straight from the hip, as always. Right on point. Okay, so that's that. There's more comment. Let's move on. Next tweet. I see here I put no access. That should have been after the first two. Yeah, after the first one. So there's another one here that's making reference to no access while they were in, I believe, Colombia. All right, so there's only one comment here. Here's one thing the toxic British media are not in any doubt of. It's why they no longer have exclusive access to Harry and Meghan activities. British media F around, find out, and don't like it. So they're trying to claim they don't know why it's happening. That's their problem. I'm telling you, the squad been keeping receipts. Toxic British media's favorite song remain It Wasn't Me. Is it Shaggy? They literally told Harry and Meghan to leave.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
If they don't like the vitriolic coverage, they say Harry and Meghan, yeah, I have that. Piers Morgan, go back to America. I remember that. They literally told Harry and Meghan to leave if they don't like the vitriolic coverage, and also William, who hired Simon Case to do the paperwork to make sure it's legally bind. And this is why Harry went to court to make sure, because he saw they were making a big mistake. This is the review, his security review was for that. The mistake, the stupidity that his brother was making for hiring Simon Case, and also to let people what was happening. Okay? And this is why every time I come across different tweets that talking about they left and this and that, and I said, no, we need to make sure to let you know that it's William who kicked him out. It was on paper, the Syndrome Summit. The paper was already written. This is why Harry was saying they wasted his time.
Everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the B got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
Alright, let's continue. They say Harry and Meghan will be nothing without them. Now the media wants to act like it wasn't their lies that endangered and continue to endanger Harry and Meghan's life and force them to flee for their safety. Okay, what she said. Victoria Ward. There were very few quotes from anybody forcing media organization keen to present a full account, scratching around for snippets of video and local accounts published online in an attempt to piece it all together. With no access, there is no independent scrutiny. This is the thing. The date here is August 24. That was like 2 days ago. The thing with the media, the UK media, and they passing it on to the US as well, they abuse the system. They give real journalists the leeway. If they get a real scoop of real information that could endanger the person who's giving them the information, to be anonymous. So this is the part where they abuse to the fullest. Okay? That's when they come with the source, this, someone, a friend of a friend said, and all of that. They could never say the name. They use that clause only to abuse to the fullest and then to say their stupid lies. Alright, so let's continue. There were very few quotes from anybody forcing media organizations keen to present a full account, scratching around for snippets of videos and local accounts published online in an attempt to piece it all together. With no access, there is no independent scrutiny. The couple now operating as private individuals, that's what they are. That's what they are. They are private citizens who's running an organization. They do as they please. They're not under anybody's control. The couple now operating as private individuals, no longer reliant on public funds, can do as they please. It was part of the reason they turned their backs on the royal household and its many constraints after all. Yeah, you guys told them to leave. He tried to play nice with all of you guys, give you warning after warning since he was a young man. But you guys, hey, the father let you guys do whatever, and now that he's an adult, he has a family of his own, he has to protect his family, and which he told you guys as well.
I will always protect my family, and now I have a family to protect.
Okay, what we heard. So this is what she wrote. Now this is the interpretation of the squad. Victoria Ward Telegraph. There were quotes, but it was from the local media, forcing the British media to say the couple was irrelevant, to find other ways to try to dilute or purposely misrepresent the message. With no access, British media lies don't drive the agenda. There's that here. The US-based couple are financially independent, and British media no longer have a right to use them to deflect from their lack of scrutiny of the taxpayer-funded royals. That was part of the reason they literally ran for their lives. It's true. It is true. Okay, what is the Duke and Duchess of Sussex stance on media in general? The Duke and Duchess believe in a free, strong, and open media industry which uphold accuracy and foster inclusivity, diversity, and tolerance. Both the Duke and Duchess have collaborated with media organizations including Time Magazine, National Geographic, The Daily Telegraph, British Vogue, and various others. Their Royal Highnesses recognize that their roles as members of the royal family are subject to intense, and they welcome accurate and honest media reporting, as well as being held to account if appropriate. Equally, like every member of society, they also value privacy as individuals and as a family. Harry told them all of that. They refused to listen.
Chance my arm with a cheeky question. A bit like your mother, you are pursued every minute of every day by lots of people trying to take photographs, videoing, recording what you're saying, pushing. How can you possibly have a private life?
Cheeky question. You're right, that is a cheeky question. But Andrew, to be honest with you, sadly, that line between public and private life is almost non-existent anymore, and we will continue to do our best to ensure that there is the line. You know, we are completely aware that we're in a very privileged position, and I will spend the rest of my life, you know, earning that privilege and trying to bring a spotlight onto things and causes that really matter to me, and I hopefully matter to a lot of other people as well. Everyone has a right to their privacy, and you know, a lot of the members of the public get it, but sadly in some areas there is this sort of incessant need to find out every little bit of detail about what goes on behind the scenes. It's unnecessary. You know, I hope that people get to see me here in this INVICTUS role, you know, cracking on with the guys and mucking in and having a good time with them. And this is half my official role, but half my private role. This is what I enjoy doing, but the private life has to be private, and I hope people respect that.
All right, so this here. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will not be engaging with your outlet. There will be no collaboration and zero engagement. This is also a policy being instated for their communication team in order to protect that team from the side of the industry that readers never see. This policy is not about avoiding criticism. It's not about shutting down public conversation or censoring accurate reporting. Media have every right to report on and indeed have an opinion on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, good or bad, but it can be based on a lie. Okay, but it can't be based on lie. They also want to be very clear. It is not in any way a blanket policy for all media. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are looking forward to working with journalists and media organizations all over the world, engaging with grassroots media, regional and local media, and young up-and-coming journalists to spotlight issues and causes had to so desperately need acknowledging, and they also look forward to doing what they can do to help further opportunities for more diverse and underrepresented voices who are in need now more than ever. What they won't do is offer themselves up as currency for an economy of clickbait and distortion. I'm telling you, Harry has been on point since day one. What don't they understand? The British press isn't welcome around Harry and Meghan. Did they honestly think after all these years of tormenting Harry and then Meghan, they could freely F around and not find out? Okay, Harry's always straightforward to them. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. That's it. Alright.
With that.
This one was, let me pause for a second. This needs to come after. There was some other thing that was happening. Let's see here. Okay, so I just rearranged some stuff. Since we were talking about the British media, I have some more tweets that talks about the British media, and I have about 2 or 3 tweets talking about the Left Behinders. So I just rearranged them. So let's continue with another one that deals with the British media. So there's that here, one of the squad who's making reference that they were removed, the British media were removed from a WhatsApp group. Okay, not y'all getting removed from the WhatsApp group of the Vice President of Colombia. That is too funny. There's me here. Girl, trash had to be removed. They can't help themselves. Alright, so this is extra. Let's not go into that. Let's focus about that now. My list. Let's focus about my list. Next tweet. Okay, so there's that. The Mail. Why didn't Duchess Meghan name her sister-in-law as a strong woman? I post this on my community board. I didn't read the article, but this is what the Daily Mail or the Daily Mail is saying. Why didn't Duchess Meghan name her sister-in-law as a strong woman? So there's my comment here. Oh, 8 people like it. Right, coat hanger is not strong. It hangs. One has to display toughness in order to be identified as strong. She could start with Egg when he's disrespecting her in public. She could have demonstrated such ability by supporting Meghan Markle when the Daily Mail and Egg and company were ganging up against her. Instead, she joined them. Alright. She was speaking to and about Afro-descendants, people of African descent. Is Kate one now? Harry and Meghan in Colombia has really got them in a spin. Aside from the obvious, KKK can in no way, shape or form, under any circumstances, be regarded as a strong woman. On the contrary, she is a doormat, a mute woman. That's true. One of the presenters said she was a mute woman.
One of the reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. Yeah. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned mute woman.
That is true. A mute woman, totally without personality and subservient to her incandescent, violent, bully husband. There's the laugh here. People are laughing about it because she was only talking about strong women. Alright, because Duchess Meghan was talking about strong women in her life, Kate made it clear that Meghan is not her circle of friends. That's a very good point as well. Alright, after this, that's it. The only thing Kate knows good at, waving and cutting ribbons, since when doing those things is considered a strong woman. If Meghan had done what Daily Mail is saying she should have done, they will then say, why is Meghan mentioning Kate? That's another very good point. Is it her using the connection to royals for personal means? Let's be clear, she can't win either way. Plus, of course, Kate has only married a prince, not much else. Okay, throwing another woman to the wolves in an attempt to ruin her in order to elevate yourself is not strength. After successfully running said woman out of the country, attempting a poor man's rendition of her whole aesthetic, which you obviously disdain, is also not strength. Alright, so there's that. Let's go to the next tweet. Now, the next one, I think, has to be the video that I had, and I switch it over. So you have to get the background of it to understand why this person put this. Okay, he's Kate. That's all. This is a GIF. He's Kate. Alright, is there a comment? That's me responding. Oh boy, she'll answer to anything. Alright, so there's that here. Let's go into this. Pause. Okay, she doesn't even know what she wants to be called. In her own words, when asked, she replied, I will answer to anything, to be honest. That's her quote saying that. So can we stop this BS of so and so call her Kate? Everyone calls her Kate. Kate. Everyone call her Kate. What is it? There was something that Harry said about her name, because her name starts with a C and Camilla has some issues, some BS thing.
I flinched. Something about his use of the name Catherine. I remembered the time he and Camilla wanted Kate to change the spelling of her name because there were already 2 royal ciphers with a C and a crown above. Charles and Camilla. It would be too confusing to have another. Make it Catherine with a K, they suggested. I wondered now what came of that suggestion. I turned to Willie, gave him a look that said, "You listening to this?" His face was blank.
But anyway, let's listen to this. 34 seconds. There will be screenshot.
No.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm most fine with that.
Yeah.
Now, Kate, if you don't mind me asking, I heard a podcast with Harry recently, and he refers to you as William and Kath, and that really confused me because everyone else calls you Kate. All the press call you Kate. So is this a thing that is just in the family?
Yeah, I did. I'm not sure. I'm not that familiar with it, I have to say, back home. But I'll answer to most things, to be honest.
Oh my God.
Okay. I'm also intrigued to know, if you don't mind me asking, what do you watch on television?
No.
That's okay.
Yeah.
What did she say? I'll answer to most things, somewhere here. Come on.
I'll answer to most things, to be honest.
Okay. And it looks like she was looking at William for answer.
I remembered the time he and Camilla wanted Kate to change the spelling of her name because there were already 2 royal ciphers with a C and a crown above. Make it Catherine with a K, they suggested. I wondered now what came of that suggestion. I turned to Willie, gave him a look that said, "You listening to this?" His face was blank.
Like for help or something. Okay, someone may be wanting to patch up his bride. I know that's the only reason they are fighting to get rid of Kate's name. Same reason they Photoshop her photo and airbrush all wrinkles. I don't know why. They just can't love her the way she is. She allowed it. That's the thing. She allowed it. Meghan, when she doesn't like something, she put a stop to it. Why is it that I could never understand the words she's saying? How hard it is to speak. Alright. Very few people understand what she says. I think her speech is okay. It's when she tries to sound posh, then it's a car crash. Let me read this one and then that's it. These two. Oh, what did she say? Okay, F knows. She mumbles something to the husband. Shwa, shwa, shwa. Alright, let's go to the next one. I have a lot to edit tonight. I think I'm gonna stop after that. Oh, what did I just do? 20. I just did some. Okay, so that's that. I just did something here. Hold on. Oh Lord, I just did something. I don't know what I did, but I think I messed up my list. Hold on for a second. Let me pause. Something just happened to my list, but luckily I had grabbed this link, so I put it right back on the list. I don't know if something else is messed up. But anyway, this is the next tweet. Prince Harry, my partner, is an exceptional human being, talking about his wife, soulmate Meghan. So there's no comment on this. Let's go into that. That was back in 2003. None of the elements, why is this so small? Yep, it was small. None of the elements of my life now would have been possible without me seeing it for myself. My partner is an exceptional human being, and I am eternally grateful for the wisdom and space that she's been able to give to me. Prince Harry, the UK media will ignore this clip. Alright, so let's listen. It's a minute and, oh no, it's 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
People have said my wife saved me.
Yeah.
You know, I was stuck in this world.
Yeah.
And she was from a different world and helped sort of draw me out of that. But none of the elements of my life now would have been possible without me seeing it for myself.
Yeah.
As we know, it's one of the, you know, it's hard to change. It's almost impossible to change other people.
Yeah.
You've got to start with changing yourself and allow that growth to happen. But yes, my partner is an exceptional human being, and I'm eternally grateful for the wisdom and the space that she's been able to give to me.
Well, there's an incident in the book where you kind of lose it. I think you lose your temper, and she says to you, "You can't do that with me.
Mm-hmm.
I will not be with a person who does that.
Mm-hmm.
I will not have children with a person who does that."
That's right.
You'll have to figure out what's going on inside yourself. And my wife, bless her soul, has always challenged me to she wouldn't put up with anything less than my true self. And what a gift. And so relationships, but not just with spouses, but also with people who see you and accept you, such an important part of healing, I think.
And I needed that.
Yeah.
I really needed that. I needed that pushback. I needed that moment of, again, scared of losing her. And it was a real moment because of the question that she asked.
Yeah.
She said, did you, is it because that was how you were brought up? Or that you've experienced or seen or heard, other people within your life speak to women like that? And it was like a light bulb moment. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. Not an excuse.
No.
Just
an
understanding of how these things manifest themselves and how we are so much a product of our own upbringing.
Yep, I will always make this point in some of my podcasts. Meghan put a stop to it, and I think it was the part where they were cooking and they came to that argument, and then Harry did something and Meghan was not pleased about it. She removed herself from the space, went somewhere, and then when Harry realized Meghan is not back and he went to look for her, and she was sitting on the side of the bed, and Meghan told him, if you want to raise a family, this kind of attitude, I want no part of it. And she started asking him questions. Did you see this? Like he just said in the clip. And he was like, yeah. And Meghan said, you need therapy. All right. So he knew he fell in love with that woman. So he didn't want to lose her, like he said in the clip. Okay, love of my life, thank you. This book would have been impossible logistically, physically, emotionally, spiritually without you. Most things would be impossible without you, Prince Harry. Spare. The upgrade is on another level, that's for sure. Okay, or they know. That's why they hate her. They think if Meghan lives, Harry will revert back to the old Harry. Then they can come to his rescue and play the heroes. Nah, I think Harry sees everything for what it is now. I don't think let me not say things I don't want to really say. Alright, they show their ugly side, that's it. They show their ugly side. I don't think that he will look up to them to save him. There's a reason why he left with his wife and son. Alright, how can they accept it, especially after what happened to his mom, and then to see they're inflicting the same type of behavior on his wife and himself. Remember the chase in New York? Alright, so he remembered all of that. He had to see them and he experienced it. He see it for himself and he experienced it. Alright, they took a snippet of what Dr. Mate said and twisted to incite hate. However, this comment from Harry about his wife is ignored by them. Alright, Meghan was Harry's door market exit. Yep, his mom did an exceptional job. I think the universe bring Meghan to him. Okay, or him was able to direct to Meghan. Right, after all, he did see her on IG. He was wanting out a long time, that's right, and was ready for a partner and got both things in her. So he got right for her. He was already on his journey. However, Meghan and Archie were the catalyst for him to find his identity outside of the institution. That's a very good point. Okay, this I'm not gonna read, but I'll put it on the screen, you could pause. They used this clip to say he's brainwashed and Prince William by a manipulative woman. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but these people are crazy. Oh my God, by a manipulative woman who ripped him from the arms of this loving, albeit abusive family. It is in his memoir. He chose to be rude to her, and she told him that she will not tolerate and disrespectful behavior toward her. She then traded the dignity for tiaras and stolen diamonds. He changed his learned behavior because he wanted to be in a healthy relationship. I think this is the part where the incident happened. Alright, you could pause and read it. Okay, so just pause and read it. Alright, let's see some of the comments here. She unwashed the brainwash that they hate her. That's why they hate her. She created boundaries and then allow him to play in her face. That's right. He got his notice the first time that he used his learned behavior on her. She showed him empathy in the process. Very, very interesting. Well said. You're good in your analysis. Yeah, I think so too. Okay, well, is that the same thing? 306. There she is. She's putting it again. He went full-blown Windsor on her and then expect her to react. She's really good. That is true. He went full-blown Windsor on her and then expect her reaction. I'm sure that it wasn't his first time exhibiting that learned behavior. However, he found someone who helped him to unlearn that kind of behavior through therapy. It is called growth. That is true. Alright, so this is what also why he realized she's not about that tiara, the fairy tale, this kind of thing, and this is the connection that they were making from a deeper level, not material things but in human behavior. Right, this will be twisted into she blackmailed him emotionally because of what he said about losing her. Shaking my head. Okay, he had to get rid of his learned behavior to be in a healthy relationship. She told him what she will not tolerate in a partner. She created her boundaries, and he went to therapy because he wanted to be in a healthy relationship. That's very good. She's spot on. Okay, I want to stop, but they're good. I hope is that everyone in the world can have the love with another person that these two have for each other. I don't follow what happens with them ever, but seeing what people write and the hate for her is so confusing to me. Alright, she doesn't fit the princess stereotype. He then get married to a blonde hair and a blue eye woman. They also hate her because she then stay for the abuse and bullying. Lastly, her husband loves her and will go over and beyond to protect her. Most of them envy her. Oh my God, she's good with her response. I am forever grateful that Prince Harry is the man willing to work on himself. He could have allowed his ego to make him arrogant, but instead, like his mother, he lead with empathy and love. Our good sis made an excellent choice. Not only that, there were some parts, not in the book, but other tweets, other part, maybe videos, could have been the book. I'm not sure where I get that from. Let's just put allegedly, where sometimes he just stay in a freaking basement and playing video game by himself. So now when you have a partner where you could do other things with, you could communicate with, you could play, practicing babies and all of that. So you're gonna change because he already knows some people who offended him are because of his position. Okay, so when he saw someone, Meghan, who wasn't about that fairy tale thing, and Meghan loved him for him, nothing more, so he changed. Okay, I'm reading everything. Okay, enlightened discussion between Prince Harry and world-renowned trauma expert Dr. Gabor Mate, I hope I pronounce his name correctly, about his own experience with generational trauma. Thanks for sharing it. Okay, that fact Harry was prepared to walk away for his wife and his son instead what was familiar to him with the royal family to gut, and if he hadn't have met Meghan, he would have either married someone like Kate, who was for sure and he didn't love, or he will have ended up like his mother. Why am I on the verge of tears? Alright, so that's that. I read everything. Okay, so this one is a very good one. The response, the squaddy who really interpreted the way it should be. Alright, so this is my last one that's regarding Archewell, and then I'm gonna be off the computer after that. Alright, the doors were open to a possible alliance that will allow the Colombian Ministry of Equality and Equity to work with the Archewell and Open Society Foundation on programs supporting the economic autonomy of women and artists from the Pacific and the Caribbean. Yeah, I could see with that visit, with the culture, because Meghan is about those type of thing, culture, art, paint. You see her when she was younger going to art exhibition with her mother and all of that, the music, she's all about that. So I could see there is more that will come out of this, not just with the Archewell, with INVICTUS, anything like that, and the cultural aspect of that. She was feeling it, and I think there's gonna be some incredible things that's gonna come out of that, in my humble opinion, because she's about that. Remember when before she met Harry, the things that the kids for Rwanda, for the water, they do water painting. She brought their arts to Canada and sold it, raised money for the whales and all of that. I see so much more. I see so much more collaboration between the Archewell and Colombia, and there might even, I said it before but vaguely, but I could also see some connection with Nigeria as well. You'll be surprised the connection that Meghan will be making, the bridge. I could see that. Harry will do his INVICTUS things, but the artistic aspect, cultural aspect, I could see the collaboration. I feel it. I don't know if it will happen, but I feel it. Right, so there is a final, okay, so that's in Spanish. Right, there's this is wonderful, that's an ad. It's impressive how Archewell continues to evolve as Harry and Meghan establish connection and foster collaboration. They are strengthening their foundation and steadily solidifying their legacy. Yeah, through the INVICTUS, as they travel together, Harry and Meghan, Harry will always be focusing on INVICTUS. That's his baby, that's his thing. And while Meghan is traveling with him, accompanying him, experience the culture and all of that, this is Meghan stuff. That I see it. Painting, children, music, art, this kind of thing, the culture aspect, that's Meghan. She's gonna create something. I won't even surprise. Oh, there's another crazy idea. If there's another branch of Archewell that will be for that, the cultural aspect of things, to connect people and all of that. Alright, well, this is Archewell anyway. Years from now, when the Sussexes go back to places like Nigeria and Colombia to cut the ribbons on world-class training centers for wounded veterans and performing arts centers for Afro-Colombians, people will understand more clearly. It is okay to let time let time tell. Wow, now that is impact. Harry and Meghan are going to be so important in this world. President and prime ministers will pay money to meet them for a handshake. They are onto something huge. Even they don't know how much their influence is growing. It's going to be massive. I don't think they're gonna be doing this for money or anything. If it's Harry and Meghan already told us, if it align with them, they end. They are in. I don't think they're gonna want to be construed with money, taxpayers' money. They just came from that. That was a huge lesson for them in the UK. It was a crash course of things not to do, because when you start connecting with money for things like that, it limited their things, what they want to do. So I don't see any kind of connection with money. They will do that thing, they raise their money or whatever, you donate out of your own heart or whatever, that's good. But other than, okay, look at this, he play polo to raise money. I don't think they want to be constrained with money from other people to do for them to do for money. Nah, it's gonna be too much. They will not be free to do as they please. I don't think so. Alright, so there's that. Harry and Meghan are going, okay, I just read this. How awesome is this? This is impressive. This is why they are in demand. They visit countries to actually help. The others are just doing PR events to justify being taxpayers funded. Alright, so there's that. So if this article, I'll leave it. I don't know if it's in Spanish, right? Yeah, that's in Spanish. Okay, I don't know. Alright, too many things is popping up. I'll leave the link anyway, you guys could deal with it. Alright, so that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. This is one of the videos that I did this morning, and I need to schedule it for another day. Alright, so that's it. Check my shop, Spreadshop and Zazo, and see how you could help support my channel. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching.